Hey, welcome to the Session Talk Show. It's me, your host, Tia.
I'm Rose.
And I'm Simone.
So get ready for this. Let's welcome the founders of Park Street Development and Park Street Homes. We have Miss Aisha and Kevin Shelton. They are known as the Sheltons, and you're about to find out why. Hello, how are you guys doing?
Welcome.
Thank you for sitting with us. I was really excited about this. Well, as you all know, I'm in the real estate industry, so I look up to you guys so much. So I'm very, very excited. But first, we have to know, tell us your background story. You're like, where, which part?
I know.
Tell us your background story about when you two met and you both decided to do this together. Real estate, community, everything that you do.
As a married couple.
Yeah, so I think that we both had a passion for real estate before we met, and then we learned or recognized that you can building wealth is through real estate, or you can build wealth through real estate. And so he is we like to say I'm the brains.
And I'm the builder.
And
Oh,
he's the builder.
okay.
And so I come up with all the bright ideas and he executes, so it's the perfect partnership.
Nice.
that is so
Okay.
nice. How long were you guys together? No, you're married now. How long
Yes.
have you been married?
6 years.
Okay. And how long were you guys together before you began working together?
Almost immediately. So she was president of Young Professional Toastmasters when we got together. And I just kind of jumped in and became her treasurer and wherever I could get in and help. And then we started doing things together like hosting business conferences and starting a bunch of random businesses that we started. And then that kind of all molded into what we're doing now.
Did you initially start as friends, or was it love at first sight?
We were together.
Yeah.
Oh,
He knew he wanted her. He was like, I'm getting that woman.
It was real quick.
No, I don't know about that, but
It was quick.
But you know if you know the one,
but
right?
I was divorced, so I was divorced and trying to be out here in the streets, and then I met her and she was like, that ain't gonna happen.
I know that's right.
Together.
Yeah.
I'm engaged to someone who's divorced, and I always said I'd make a great second wife. I always just knew it. I knew somebody had
Second
to.
wife.
Second wife's club.
Second wife's club.
It's the
I was
best.
like, yes. How do you feel about
I
it?
feel like he's learned all the lessons. that
Yes,
he needs to learn.
correct.
So
Exactly.
It just comes back better. And
Yeah,
I get
agreed.
I got the good stuff.
Because what I love about divorced men is that they know they're not perfect because we've got proof.
Yeah.
You know, we've got proof.
It's not your
They're
fault.
done it.
It's not your
and
fault.
then they're done it and they can correct it.
Yeah.
And generally, men who are divorced, it's either one of two things. They either say, I never want to get married again, or they say, I definitely want to get married again. And those who do are adamant with doing it, quote, right this time
Yeah.
so that it sticks.
Yeah.
So there's
I
a
never
lot.
wanted to get married again, and then I met her, and then I was like, oh,
I want to get married
Oh
again.
yeah.
I gotta do
I mean, for you
I-
to take on a treasure position, you wanted that woman because that is
love it.
probably the least
I mean, the
favorite.
budget was small, though.
And the budget was small.
it
Like,
wasn't crazy.
It wasn't major.
so speaking of, so how many chapter organizations are you part of in the community?
So I do community. So I'm real estate and community. And when this real estate thing goes away because we do something super major, I will be in the community. So I do one of the organizations that I'm closest with right now is Impact 100. We get together, 100 women, we donate $1,000 and we make one 100,000 impact grant to a nonprofit. So for every 100 women that we bring into the organization, that's another nonprofit organization that will receive a $100,000 grant each year.
Wow.
and
What's
so-
the most you've received?
We have to date. So our founding year was last year.
Okay.
This year we did 252,000.
Woo,
So
wow.
2 nonprofits received $100,000. 3 other nonprofits received $17,000 grants.
Okay, that is
wonderful.
amazing. That's
It is.
amazing.
So tell me, how did Park Street Development and Park Street Homes, how did it develop? From what mission or purpose or the why, how come?
So honestly, it started off as a selfish endeavor. I'm a builder by trade. So this is actually my 16th year building, and that was my career.
You look so young.
Yeah. I mean,
He is.
I had a baby at 20, so
Okay.
I got
gotcha.
married at 20, had a baby at 20, started my
Oh.
career at 19. So for me, all I ever wanted to do was be a builder. And when we got together, we were looking for housing in the Third Ward, kind of South Union, Riverside Terrace area, and there was no new housing that she would live in, and B, we didn't have to do something to like renovate or live in a less than desirable house.
Yeah.
So I said, well, since I'm a builder, let's build some. So we started our journey of building in the community that I grew up in, and that really became a more passion project. And now we're over 40 homes in the community.
Wow.
That is wonderful.
I live in that neighborhood too. We talked a bit before about he knows where I first moved to. I live on that same street now. I just bought a place a few doors down.
Yep.
So I absolutely love. How did you pick Third Ward to start your development?
So my family's from Third Ward on both sides, going back 3 generations. So my great uncle had one of the first pharmacies on Emancipation Boulevard, and going all the way back to when he first got his doctor's license, he was one of the first eye doctors in the state of Texas.
Oh, Mr. Curry or Dr. Curry? Wooten.
So
That's right, Dr. Wooten.
Her, I guess, mother's maiden name is Wooten.
So that's my eye doctor's father. Okay.
Yes.
And actually, the building that they office in, which we actually office in that same building, they're the oldest tenants in that building. So,
Oh, wow.
he started that eye doctor clinic. He was also a registered pharmacist, had 2 pharmacies, several other businesses, went back to medical school, got his medical doctor's license, and then came back and opened the eye doctor.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my
And one of the wonderful things about the Third Ward, so the Third Ward is a neighborhood in Houston that is adjacent to downtown. It was originally a Jewish community, but then when Jewish people were allowed, they began to allow them to buy property near Protestants. They left, they went to that community, and the Black elite bought the homes in the Third Ward. So they're huge. Many of them have maids' quarters or apartments in the back, and it's right next to both TSU, which is the HBCU, as well as University of Houston. So it's a fantastic neighborhood. It's super convenient.
And speaking of history, so you guys received a congressional proclamation for the work that you are doing here in Houston to highlight the historical African American home landmarks. So tell me, how did you feel? Did you expect that? How did that go?
So we had the pleasure of chairing the fundraising event for an organization called Preservation Houston. So we cannot take all of the credit for the good work that's happening in the community because of Preservation Houston. But when they came to us and asked us to chair this event, they wanted to have a different demographic to bring to the organization. So younger people of color, just to expand what Preservation Houston is and what they do and share that with the community. And so we were very honored to do that. Kevin is a history buff. He loves construction. He loves architecture. So it was a really good fit for us. We were very happy to help them to raise funds this year for their organization and also to highlight some of the things that African Americans have done in the historical space for architecture and buildings.
So I know you guys have a lot of properties that you develop over the years, and you currently have one. Now, is it affordable housing?
So it's a mixed community. We have market rate and affordable housing.
Tell us about that, and what do people need to, what's the income requirement or so forth to qualify under affordable housing component?
So the development's called Grand Park Square. It's right in South Union, south of Third Ward, but Third Ward adjacent and easily as convenient. We have mixed market and affordable. That the affordable start at $230. The market rate start at around $340.
And $230 for how many bedrooms?
$230 for a 3-bedroom, 2 bath, or 2.5 bath.
Is there an income cap?
There is an income restriction.
Okay.
So it's about 80 to 120% of AMI, which the AMI is about $80,000, $85,000 in the city. So for a family of 4, you can make $100,000, and because of your family size, you can still buy one of our affordable houses.
That's
nice.
fantastic. That's fantastic.
So if you guys can take a look at this camera right here and tell us, we've enjoyed you guys so much, but I know the audience has. Tell us, how can we reach you?
So Kevin Shelton on Instagram or Facebook, Aisha Shelton, AYESHA on Instagram or Facebook, Park Street Homes, Grand Park Square. They all have the Marriage and Real Estate podcast.
Yes.
They all have
Yes,
their
your
respective
podcast.
pages.
How long have you been doing your podcast?
3.5 years.
Yeah. Great. So on the podcast, they talk about both marriage and real estate. Make sure you check it out, guys.
Yes, and let's go to commercial break, guys, because we have to. Thank you again for joining in to the Session Talk Show. Again, we have the amazing The Sheltons. Thank you.
Thank you.